It's Monday, June 16th, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central. This is show number 956, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Get a managed WordPress site for just $1 a month and a free domain at GoDaddy, or pick up a domain name for just $1.99. All of my specials can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. 216 listeners took advantage of my codes last month. Be one of them this month. Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. Hey, folks, you know what comes next? It's great to be back here in Honolulu. You know what comes next? Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Voice print confirmed.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There is no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central. Of course, my name is Todd Cochran. I'm just absolutely thrilled to be back after being off for a whole week. And hope you guys enjoyed our two fantastic guest hosts. Of course, we had Mr. Don Bain, the Gadget Professor, and Robbie from Category 5, as well as your guest host last week. Got a lot of emails from a variety of you guys commenting on both hosts. So we want to thank you so much for showing them the courtesy of basically checking out their shows while I was off tramping around throughout the United States. We'll talk about that trip here in just a few minutes. But more importantly, hey, big warm welcome to all of the HANA, all the longtime listeners of the show. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the family, of the Geek News Central family. And, of course, if you're brand new to the show, hey, we want to welcome you to the show. You've picked a great night or great day, or listen, or whenever you're listening, to check out the show. We've got lots to share, lots of tech to go over as well. But most importantly, when you are, basically trying to find the show, it's real simple. All you got to do is come over to geeknewscentral.com. And on the website, there's a place there to sign up for the newsletter. That way you'll never miss a single episode. We'll send you an email with all the links to all the content in the show. And, of course, we want you to subscribe as well via iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. You Android folks, we're watching what's going on in the Android market, and it's severely lacking. Apple is absolutely kicking butt when it comes to the majority of folks that are listening to podcasts today. Did you know that only 13 or 14% of the total audience that listens to podcasts listen via an Android device? So we want you Android users out there to start sharing what applications you're using with your friends and people that you know that have an Android device. We want to grow the Android family that listens to this show, because across the board, across all podcasts, that community is missing, and we want you guys to be here just as much as the Apple folks are in. So anyway, thanks for being here. And I also noticed right behind me, I can see we've got a little glare on the, it's going to drive me nuts before the night's out. Got a little glare on the glass behind me, but for those of you that are listening, you don't care about the glare. Of course, again, check out the website. Of course, subscribe to the newsletter and show. And if you need to reach out to me, it's real easy via Twitter @GeekNews. And, of course, you can catch me via email as well, geeknews@gmail.com. That's a great way to stay in touch and send comments back to me on what's happening with the podcast. Let me reach back here and see if I can adjust this stupid thing. Because, no, it's something else. Oh, that's going to drive me crazy seeing that in the background. What's going on is, things kind of get tweaked here. Something probably got moved a little bit while I was gone. and I'm getting a little bit of reflection. And my normal quick trick did not work to fix it, but so it's just going to be a glare back there. All right. Hey, follow me on Facebook, Google Plus as well. Those links will be in the show notes. And, of course, you can follow us on the Tech Podcast channel on the Roku, on Google TV, Samsung Smart TV, Chromecast, you name it. You can watch the show really on any kickback situation. Our Amazon Fire TV, I'm really kind of getting a little bit antsy. I'm wishing that would be ready for you. It's not quite there yet, so hopefully soon. But, of course, tonight's show is sponsored in part by our good friends over at GoDaddy.com. And really, it's simple to get hooked up with our codes and basically save a lot of money. You scroll down the website and you're going to see a link that says GoDaddy promo codes. Clicking on that's going to bring up the GoDaddy promo code page where really savings are going to be there far and wide. And as I said, 216 of you became new customers of GoDaddy in the month of May. Was really excited to see that type of a number come in. It was bigger than the month before. I think we had 170 some the month before. So these codes are rocking, and you guys are using them. So we want you to save money, 32% off by using that promo code GO32OFF1. Now, I think this code is going to die at the end of the month. So take advantage of it now while you still can. Go 25 off 5 is a 25% off your order, and it also includes a new top-level domain, the TLDs, that are out of pre-registration, so you can score on those as well. $1.99.com for using promo code GNC199, and then we've got $1 a month WordPress hosting with a free domain by using Press4, or $1 a month economy hosting with a free domain by using Geeks12 is the code. Now, we've got some other codes there, obviously, for you, some 50% off deals. But here's the main thing. Go over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Find all the codes that are really going to save you the most amount of cash, and play around with them when you're in the checkout counter. And basically, as you get to the GoDaddy checkout counter, at the very bottom of the page, there's a link there that you click that opens up a coupon box where you can use the promo code. Now, if you follow one of the links from the website, it should lock in your savings from the very beginning when you start to shop. But you can change the codes once you're at the end of the shopping cart to play around with it a little bit. But save as much money as you can. I renewed a bunch of stuff recently here and did real well on some savings. But we want to thank GoDaddy for being a sponsor here at Geek News Central. Has been since July of 2005. So we're fast approaching 9 continuous years of GoDaddy supporting this show, allowing me to do what I do for you and bringing you 2 shows a week. And, of course, everything else I do on my own personally in the new media space. So let's go ahead and talk just a little bit about what happened since the last time we were together. And boy, I tell you, it's actually been a few days. And it's anytime I take a week off, I come back to the studio here trying to figure out which buttons to push and making sure all the recordings are running. I had an upgrade for the TriCaster that happened tonight that had been putting off, got that done. But really what's been going on is this past Sunday was Father's Day, and I don't know what it is. On Mother's Day, the kids bring mom breakfast in bed, and they let her sleep in, and all this special stuff that goes on Father's Day. It's like, get up, go to work, do what you got to do. And I think there needs to be a little readjustment on the Father's Day thing, just a little bit. I'm not complaining whatsoever. We had a great day. Of course, Ray, my son, is in Michigan with my grandmother. He just finished up his 1-week stint at the Naval Academy for the summer program. So he's hanging out with Grandma and his cousins, and they're having a great time. They went to a family gathering, see all of his extended second cousins and so forth. So he's having a great time. Of course, I'm here with my wife and the 2 other kids. And we are going to be talk about a trip we're going to be taking here and meeting everyone up in California here at the beginning of July, but I'll share that with you here in a few minutes. But Father's Day was great. Really kind of ended it with some lamb chops and nice vegetable spread. And yes, to update you on my transformation, being on travel is, boy, it's tough to be good. So stepping on the scales this morning, I'm now 10 pounds down versus being 13 to 14 pounds down where I was. Kind of expected that. But I'm back on the program and trying to do my best to lose weight. And, of course, I'm being assisted by a great program, and it's called Pirium. So I want you guys to go to mypirium.com/podcast. I know a number of you have used the $50 coupons that we provide for you to save money over there when you use the promo code podcast. But let me know how your stuff goes, how your transformation went. I really want to see before and after pictures if you feel like sharing them with me. But continuing that process here, and may do another 10-day full-on stint before we go on our first summer true family vacation in many years. But talk about that again here in a few minutes. But so let me just talk a little bit about what happened on my trip. I flew out Monday night. That was the reason why Don took care of the show Monday night, and you guys had available. But flew into Houston, had a couple of meetings right off the bat in the afternoon. I was able to get into the hotel, get a shower, get turned around, and then the following day, Wednesday, had a big major meeting with one of our major clients there, and got that meeting knocked out. A race to the airport. On the way to the airport, found a truly local Mexican restaurant that Yelp recommended. No one in this place. It was kind of on the like maybe 13 or 14 miles from Houston International, and no one in the restaurant spoke a lick of English. Luckily they had a nice English menu. I was able to pick up what I wanted, and I think I got the best Mexican lunch that I've had in years. It was fantastic, and I had if you want to see my Facebook page, there was a check-in that I did, so you can check that out and try it out if you get into the Houston area. But flew into L.A. It was really in kind of bad part of town. I didn't realize when I guess I should have known, because the airport to Hilton, which wasn't available, was like 200 something a night, and the Hampton Inn that I stayed that was like 3 or 4 miles from the airport was like $80. Double bolted my door that night. It was okay, but I was just a little bit weirded out. Across the street was one of those, I think, rent by the hour little motel type things, and you could tell that they were getting a lot of by the hour traffic, if you know what I mean. So, but first thing then Monday morning, I drove over to meet with Rob Greenlee and Norm, the CEO of Podcast One, and spent 2 or 3 hours over there discussing some business ideas and plans. Can't really go into the details of that conversation, but had lunch with Rob, and then I had to scoot across town to a meeting with a brand new company that's going to be advertising with us, and had about an hour demo with them. Was really had a fantastic meeting, and then was able to get over to LAX in time for my flight up to San Francisco. Got into San Francisco actually kind of late. The flight we set on the tarmac for probably an hour later than what our departure time was. There was the delay of equipment. So by the time I got into San Francisco, I just went to the hotel, checked in, and I think it was like 9 or 9:30, and I asked the gal, I was starved, and I said, what do you have that's light, good, healthy? And she brought me this halibut, ordered me this halibut in a salad, and it was the best meal that I had the entire trip. But so Friday morning, rolled right out real early and went up to Petaluma, went to the Twit studio to tour the studio and have a meeting up there. Spent probably 2.5 hours in the studio. Had a great time checking everything out. Took some cool pics. Was in Leo's main office, and he kind of does like I do. He's got this camera shot right here, and it's pretty clean, right? And even if I change the camera shot so that it's this way, um, there's really not a lot of things you can see. And of course, this way too, it's you guys get a corner, but you can't see my pile of junk right here. So the pile of junk, and Leo kind of had his pile of stuff, and I kind of laughed. I'm like, yeah, we both kind of think alike, because I can tell he does some work in there, and but it was good. It was fun. It was up there, and I met up with Adrian Bacon for lunch, and Adrian's a longtime member of the Tech Podcast Network. Linux News Log was a show that he did for many, many years. I think is that the actual name of his show now? But him and I kind of shared some talk story a little bit about gear and some stuff that he's doing. So it was real cool to catch up with Adrian. He's working for a energy firm up there in Petaluma that does solar power stuff. And then, so then I had to immediately blast back to the city. I had a couple of meetings in the afternoon in San Francisco proper. Got back to the hotel, I guess, probably around 6 or something. And by that time, they stick a fork in me, and I think I didn't even eat dinner. I think I skipped, and next morning got on the airplane and came home. But had a great trip. Still kind of decompressing because I had some pretty heavy meetings. After the show tonight, I've got to put some stuff together for my Houston client, and then later in the week follow up with some of the other folks. But it was good. It really, really was. And touring the Twit studio, you can tell they have gotten kind of settled in over there. And cables everywhere, cameras everywhere, and they got basically stuff hanging off the cameras, make sure people don't whack their heads, and so really from a technology standpoint, that I wasn't surprised. I kind of understood their basic configuration already, but the one thing that did surprise me was the utilization of some of the lighting in the studio. So I could foresee some accent lighting coming to this studio. It's relatively inexpensive to put some of that in, but really changes the motif really remarkable. So I came away with some ideas from that. But otherwise, pretty great week. And back here in the saddle here in Honolulu. And, of course, then Father's Day Sunday, and then here we are. But enough on that. But I did want to share with you guys a couple of quick things. I know that some of you consider starting a podcast, and we want you definitely to consider the options that I have available for you in our company's offering with media hosting for your podcast. So if you decide to do that, definitely click on the link on geeknewscentral.com, and that'll take you over there and basically get you a free month of service. And also, don't want you to forget that we still have the Dropcam offer, and the Dropcam camera hasn't been turned on here recently. Been using it for another purpose, and so I've had it set to private mode. And but once we get done with the purpose we're using it for now, put it back here in the studio and put it up there so that we can use it and you guys can check it out. All right, that's about it. Oh, by the way. Remember I told you my main TV blew up? Started working again. Don't know what happened. I guess it just decided to go on strike one night. And also, all of you that have become insiders, thank you for definitely emailing Sam at insider@geeknewscentral.com. And if you haven't become an insider yet, think about doing so at 6.7 cents a day or $2 a month by going to geeknewscentral.com/insider. Okay, so enough chit-chat by me and just this regular stuff, but I wanted to catch everybody up with what's going on. And I missed you guys. I really, really did. And so going through the tech news tonight, and I really kind of, on this trip, I was, I guess for a better word, not super engaged with, I was kind of checking, but it really wasn't like I normally on the news. And there was a whole bunch of, big stuff that popped last week. I think the biggest thing that surprised me was the Tesla announcement about them essentially opening up their patents and basically saying, hey, we're not going, if you have something that you've done that is going to infringe, we're not going to come after you and sue you. So I thought that was a very bold move by Elon Musk, and I've heard a lot of commentary about it, but here's my take. He needs to make his Tesla cars become more affordable. They need to scale up. They've got to be able. They wanted to have more innovation and more competition in the space. So we'll see where this leads, but very bold move by opening up his IP, and you don't see companies doing that very often. All right, let's talk about the International Space Station, something that's really cool. I haven't had any coffee or soda for about a month, maybe about a month. And boy, I tell you, this trip was tough because I got offered coffee everywhere I went, and I'm just like, no, just water for me. And of course, I haven't had any Red Bull either, so I'm trying to really be good. But the folks at the International Space Station, imagining that they go up there and the coffee they get's probably crap. Well, there's going to be a coffee machine that's going to be brought to the International Space Station, and the Italian Space Agency. Now, leave it to the Italians to do this. They've created a espresso machine that weighs in at 44 pounds. It's going to arrive aboard the ISS in November, and the folks are going to be able to basically make coffee and espresso and a variety of other things. And you think, well, how are they going to do that? Well, into a baggie. You're not going to be able to smell this stuff, but this is pretty cool. They've had to make some special configurations, but they've got a espresso machine that is basically going to be all set up for the astronauts up there, and nothing like having a good cup of Joe before you start the day, and that's what's going to happen here coming November up at the ISS. Those of you in Portland, congratulations, Google Fiber is cleared to land in Portland. This is a big deal here. The Portland City Council, under an arrangement, basically have set up a franchise agreement, and Google's going to pay a 5% franchise fee on any video revenue, and they're going to avoid the 3% fee charged for more conventional fiber businesses like Comcast. So we know that Portland is one of 34 cities that Google has named as possible site for fiber. And, of course, the company is expected to make a final decision about whether to expand into Portland by the end of the year. But this is a great step. And if I was in Portland, I'd be dancing the jig, because it's a big deal that these guys are potentially going to get Google Fiber there in Portland. There's a couple of articles that's been talking about artificial intelligence over the past week, and Stephen Hawking appeared on John Oliver's HBO show. And of course, everyone knows that Stephen Hawking is a famous physicist, and he's got a warning about artificial intelligence. He says that artificial intelligence could get to the point where robots became smart and were able to outsmart us. And he gives fair warning to us that if we decide to move down this road over the coming years, we could end up in a situation just like it happened in Terminator. And, I think it's a bit of a stretch, because I'm sure we're going to put safety precautions into any robot and into the design and development of what these things are allowed to do and not do. But he says that artificial intelligence could be a real danger in the not-too-distant future, especially as computers get to the point of being able to be aware to a certain extent. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think you're going to see it in your lifetime? I think I'm going to see it in mine. I can't imagine not. I would just be excited to see this take off. But it is interesting, you have a guy that sits around and thinks about this stuff all day. To listen to his commentary is probably worthy of some caution, for a better word. At the same time, there's a good article on Business Insider that talks to a gentleman by the name of Kevin Kelly. Now, Kevin helped launch Wired in 1993, and he's basically saying the world is hitting its stride in technological advances, and he feels that the next 20 years are going to make the last 20 look like we accomplished essentially nothing in tech. And I believe that. And if we look where we were 20 years ago, so this is 2014, right? So if we look back to 1994, I'm thinking about what I was doing in 1994. Now see here, 84, 87, 91, because I equivalent everything to where I was stationed at when I was in the Navy. So 84, 87, I was in Guam the first time. And then 88 to 91, I was in Lemoore, California. And then 91 to 94, I was in Guam. And in 1994 in Guam, the internet as we know it was just kind of kicking off. And I bought my first domain probably in 1993, hafadai.com, which why I didn't buy more domains, I don't know. But I think about what I was doing in 1994. I was using, I think we had reached a 9600 baud. Yeah, maybe. We weren't quite to 56K. We were at 2400 or 9600. One of the two. I think we were at 9600 baud. I think 56K came later. But I was using to get we were using a system called FidoNet. And for many years, I ran, even here in Hawaii, I ran the major FidoNet hub here and in Guam and in the Pacific. And I was backhauling form information and media files. I had the biggest shareware library, really, this side of Japan. And so we were, to get that data in Guam, I would dial into a CompuServe account, and then I would log in to a server, a major BBS, I think it was CBBS in Chicago, and I paid that company to basically have on hand a stack of new shareware and basically pick up my feed. And this was charged by the minute. I think I was paying CompuServe $14 or $15 an hour to do that. Now, you got to remember, 2400 baud, when you're downloading files and it's coming all the way from Chicago to Guam via this rudimentary, connection that we would have. I'm still today surprised that it worked, but I would end up with a $500, $600, $700 CompuServe bill each month just to have moved the media. And believe me, we did really well because I ran a multi-line system there. But if you look at 1994, where we were at right then, even take 10 years to 2004 when the podcasting space kicked off, and what we had available, in 2004, we couldn't use our mobile devices to play media and sync it via the connection. We had to download stuff to our computer first, and then by wire sync it and take it with us, right? So here, and a lot of people are still doing that. A lot of people aren't just playing; they're still syncing. That number is decreasing, but we've come a long way. And I think about the hard drive I bought. I bought a 1.6 gig hard drive that cost me $1,000, and I just picked up a 4 terabyte drive for like $99 or something at Costco. 4 terabytes for $99. And you think about where the price delta has happened and where right now, what's going to happen from now, knowing what we know right now and where we came from in 94. If we just look back 20 years, where are we going to be in, so 20 years, 2034, where are we going to be? Now, God willing, I'm still here. I'm going to be a little bit longer in the tooth for sure. But would be a pretty exciting time, don't you think? I think it's going to be incredible. Um, getting old sucks. I want to be here till I'm 100, but you want to be of good sound mind as well. But it's going to be amazing. It really, really is. And I think there's going to be some incredible breakthroughs in the medical standpoint as well. But I have this linked up in the show notes for you to check out. But very, very cool. All right, those of you that are big time anti-GMO, here is something that's going to freak you out a little bit. They've got genetically modified orange bananas are ready for humans. Human testing, that is. Researchers happening in Queensland University of Technology in Australia, and thanks in part to a $10 million in funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And what they've done is they have grown bananas, a new variety of bananas that are rich in beta-carotene, which turns into vitamin A in the body for the children in Africa suffering from vitamin A deficiency. And again, these are no ordinary bananas. They're grown in the far north of Queensland to boost the beta-carotene levels. The flesh of the super banana is also orange, which provides a visual clue to their genetically modified otherness. And I know a lot of people, you're going to be freaking out about this, but this breakthrough is not entirely thanks to Frankenfruit. It's also largely because of good old-fashioned crossbreeding. Now, I was supposed to bring up the screen for you. And so what they did is they used a native banana in Micronesia called the karat. Now, I've been in, you guys know I lived in Guam, and I don't think I've ever ate a karat, but I have ate like booney bananas or local bananas, and they're much shorter. They're about this big. And those of you who are listening, I held up my fingers here, maybe 4 to 5 inches max. They're usually a little fatter, and the biggest difference in them, they're really, really, really sweet. And so trials of the super bananas will take place in the United States. And, of course, I'm sure this is going to be protested largely by the folks that are anti-GMO. So just to let you know that orange bananas are coming to a supermarket near you in the near future. Oh, not surprised. Not surprised at all. All right, Comcast. Hey, do you live? Listen to this. Comcast is, for a year now, have been working on a monster project to blanket residential and commercial areas with continuous Wi-Fi coverage. So now Comcast has been, or what has been happening is Comcast has been swapping out customers' old routers with new ones capable of doubling as public hotspots. So far, the company has turned 3 million home devices into public ones. By year's end, it plans to activate that feature on the other 5 million already installed. So what happens here is this basically, what it does is it has a separate antenna and separate processor. So outsiders never get access, quote unquote, to your private password protected home network. Each box has, I said, 2 antennas and guts. So it basically means that criminals can't jump from the public channel into the network and spy on you. Good luck on that one. But also, as for strangers tapping your router for illegal activity, Comcast said you'll be guilt-free if the FBI comes knocking. Anyone hooking up with the Xfinity Wi-Fi public network must sign in with their own traceable Comcast customer credentials. As we all know, no system is foolproof, and they think that these routers are not as secure by doing some private independent testing, not as secure as they should be. Now, we all know that having several people tap into a single router tends to clog up the Wi-Fi, but they've said they found a way to make this work, and it's a very curious offering. But they say it's not going to slow down you watching Netflix, but they should be able to watch Netflix as well. The question is, what happens to your bandwidth usage on Comcast? That's the question. All right, how many of you do not like going to the dentist and getting the re, and then when they get a cavity and they jam that in there and pack it in, and you get a little, because it's like almost smoking. It's like it's getting a filling is no fun. And knock on wood, I haven't had one for a long, long time. But no more fillings as dentists reveal a new tooth decay treatment. They say within 3 years, they're going to have a new pain-free filling that allows cavities to be repaired without drilling or injections. The new treatment is called electrically accelerated and enhanced remineralization, EAER, which accelerates the natural movement of calcium and phosphate minerals into the damaged tooth. So they say within 3 years they're going to be able to use this, and studies are going on in the UK now. So kind of cool, be able to repair teeth without drilling. A new report is showing that brand engagement on Facebook is dropping like a rock. And big companies are seeing significant engagement drop. For example, MTV, total engagement in May of 2000, the differences between the engagement between May of 2013 and May of 2014, they had an increase. But Mercedes-Benz, Starbucks, BMW, Ferrari had an 81% decrease, BMW a 57% decrease, Mercedes-Benz, I thought I said that already, 51% decrease, Audi 94% decrease in total engagement on their Facebook brand pages, and these companies are upset. And what's happened is Facebook has depreciated brand pages to the point where they only get 1 to 2% of the traffic that they used to. So pretty big number here. And Facebook doesn't want brands making money unless they're spending a lot of money with Facebook to advertise to meet people. All right, good news on the PC front. PC sales are coming back. A fresh wave of computer corporate buying is kick-starting the second quarter profit margins. Intel is saying that they expect higher than normal revenue. Lenovo as well said that they're seeing higher than normal sales and should see some higher numbers come in. So those of you that hold stock in any of those companies, you probably end up having a pretty good quarter here. So as a disclosure, I own Intel stock and can use a little bump. It'd be nice. Of course, Game of Thrones last night, I was able to watch the last 2 episodes because I missed the previous one. But the season finale of Season 4 has set a brand new piracy record with 250,000 people sharing a single file at the same time during the first 12 hours. Roughly 1.5 million file shares downloaded a pirated copy of the popular show, a number that would swell to over 7.5 million, or which will swell to over 7.5 million during the days to come. So that's a pretty big number. So this is set a new piracy record, much to the chagrin of HBO, I am sure. Any of you that got a patch last Tuesday for Office 2013 that broke your install, I'll have a link up in the show notes tonight on how to fix that. So it basically, those of you that have Office 2013 may have run into some issues, but this link will definitely help you out for sure. All right, Google wants to start beaming internet from its high-altitude balloons next year. And what's interesting is they are not going to do it via Wi-Fi. They're actually going to set up an LTE signal. And they feel that they're going to be able to get connections of up to 22 megabits per second. Basically, antenna to antenna. And then up to 5 megs per second on mobile phones. So that's I'd love to have 5 megs on my mobile phone. I don't get that now, for sure. But it's called Project Loon. The balloons appear to have made a big advance all around. And they're now staying in the air for 75 days or so. They want to grow that to they want 100 balloons in the air for 100 days each, and then grow that to 300 to 400 to basically never lose coverage whatsoever in the area that they want to inundate with these high-altitude balloons. To have no idea where they want to roll these out yet, no rumors yet, but be curious to see where it's going to go. John Oliver's back at it again. He's mocked the FCC defense against his net neutrality tirade. So basically, we all know that the internet went pretty wild last month when he used his show to lambaste the FCC. If you haven't watched this video, again, I'll have it linked up in the show notes tonight for you to review. But he takes umbrage to the FCC commissioner, who basically said he did not look at all like a dingo, and he took exception to it. And John Oliver basically came back and had a lot of fun because the FCC commissioner got offended. So he went and put it back on him a little bit. There is a lot of research going on right now in stem cells, and most of it's being done in a lab. And if there is a use for stem cells, most of the time right now it's happening outside the United States, and most of it's in test phase. But please be aware that there are con artists out there right now that are basically trying to sell stem cell treatments that are nothing but just, they're fake. They don't really exist. And there's one guy that's a king of it, and he lives in Italy. And the Italian government hasn't cracked down this guy yet, but he has treated a lot of people to no avail. And they're warning people to stay away from this guy. He's a witch doctor. You don't know what's being injected into you. Hey, some bars in Alaska are going to start dispensing pregnancy test kits in their bathrooms. Now, apparently, in Alaska, they have the highest percentage of moms that are basically drinking too much booze. And this is going to reduce fetal alcohol syndrome. And it's a part of a study being done by the University of Alaska to determine if posters warning women against drinking while pregnant are more effective when they're coupled with a pregnancy test dispenser. And Alaska currently has the highest known rate of fetal alcohol syndrome. Women in the state are 20% more likely to binge drink while pregnant, which we all can agree to. That's probably not a very good idea. But pregnancy test kits in bar bathrooms, that's interesting. All right, French soccer team was apparently being watched by a rogue drone at the World Cup, at their World Cup training base, and they took exception to it, stopped practice, and they filed a protest with the FIFA folks. But I guess the team was being droned. You would know. It'd be pretty easy to tell if you're getting droned. Those things are not quiet; they're noisy. And just kind of surprised someone actually did that. Well, this should not come as a shock to any of you. There used to be this saying for those folks that did not like Fords. Found on road dead. That was a Ford disclaimer. But GM, Government Motors, of course, said on Monday that it would recall another 3.36 million defective cars worldwide. This is another low point in a seemingly endless safety crisis at Government Motors that basically has engulfed the manufacturer. And once again, the problem had to do with Government Motors keys that could suddenly turn off engines and deactivate airbags. And of course, that was a problem that was similar to the deadly effects that GM failed to address for more than a decade before recalling 2.6 million small cars in February. Now, the let's see here, what vehicles were they? Does it say? The vehicles include, these are some vehicles that aren't even being made anymore. The Buick LaCrosse, model year 2005-2009, Chevy Impala 2006-14, Cadillac DeVille 2000-2005, Cadillac DTS 2004-2011, Buick LeSuren 2006-2011, Buick Regal LS or 2004-2005, and the Chevy Monte Carlo 2006-2008. Of course, the Chevy Impala is the only model still in production, but the company said it will add an insert that covers slots on the ignition key, and basically it's some sort of a weight issue bending on the mechanism. So if you have a GM vehicle and it's one of those, you'll definitely want to get it to the dealer as quick as you can. Amazon's launching a phone this week on Wednesday, and The Verge has got some information on what you should be watching for. The phone is obviously going to be running on Android. They've got a teaser video out for it, but it's going to be some subsidized. I think there's going to be some sort of a 3D user interface with it. There's speculation that Amazon could be interested in a new shopping interface with that 3D effect. And it apparently is going to have reportedly a 4.7-inch 720p display. Don't know where the price is going to fall in here, but they're going to make it cheap enough people can get it and probably be subsidized as well. And Amazon's probably going to be using advertising to offset the cost of it, just like they do their Kindle lineup. But we'll see what happens with the launch on Wednesday. We'll talk about Thursday's show for you when we're here on Thursday. Do you guys know the Dead Mouse 5? You guys know that group, right? They are a little bit weird, and I probably pronounced their names wrong, but it's Dead Mouse 5 is the Twitter name of the user account. And it's these guys that do jam. They jam out, and they wear mouse heads that light up. Well, apparently this guy's selling a Ferrari 458. I'm not familiar with that vehicle at all, but it's being listed for $380,000. If you want one, get your checkbook out, and you can have it. It's available online. I have a link to the show notes. Over in CNET, they're doing an experiment in, where was it? It was Switzerland, in Geneva, Switzerland. They are operating what's called TOSA, Trolleybus Optimization System Implementation. It's a pilot project in testing electric buses with an unusual method for keeping them charged up. The bus has a battery pack on the top of the vehicle. It pulls into a certain station. It connects through a robotic arm to what is essentially an electric bus. A 15-second rapid flash charge helps to keep the buses running all day. And each bus can carry up to 133 people. But basically, as soon as they stop, this little lever comes up, hooks up to the electrical, the overhead, and in about 20 seconds, people offload off the bus and then unload, and then boom, it's on its way. But they're testing this fast charging. Pretty good video on this page as well. So I'll have that link up in the show notes for you guys to check out. Pretty cool what they're doing there, and they're basically saying they need different implementations for different routes. Some routes they may need a battery that will hold a little more of a charge. Shorter routes they may not. So they're really messing with it on a route-specific basis. Now, really exciting is, Hawaii, we have an incredibly high rate of diabetes. I mean, it's bad here. I think we're the highest in the nation. And really, I think it's because, you look at me here, 210 pounds, and, I should be 30 pounds lighter, maybe even 40. And we just have good grinds here. And, we eat a lot of starches, not as many vegetables, because here in Hawaii, vegetables are a lot more expensive. 4 or 5 times expensive probably than what you guys are used to in the lower 48 or other places where you have a big economic base. But a gentleman has invented a bionic pancreas that may transform how diabetes is managed. And basically, this bionic pancreas has been tested on 20 adults and 32 teenagers with type 1 diabetes for 5 days. The pancreas is a wearable device that continuously monitors patient blood sugar levels and administers insulin automatically when needed. And unlike other wearables currently in the works, this one was able to correct low blood sugar levels as well as high, which is pretty exciting because it has you use your mobile device, and you enter what you're eating, and it kind of predicts what's going to happen to your sugar. And so this is pretty exciting stuff here. Device has two cell phone size pumps that administer insulin and also glucagon, as well as an iPhone that connects to a glucose monitor embedded underneath the skin. But for young folks that are suffering from type 1 diabetes, they prefer wearing one of these devices instead of pricking your finger up to 10 times a day. And this is exciting stuff. Couple years, we're going to have, the diabetes situation is going to be much better. People are not going to be, getting kidney failure, because their blood sugar is going to be really extremely regulated. And you won't have these highs and peaks that cause these issues, that cause the complications surrounding diabetes. A pretty good article over by Yahoo. Actually, this was on BGR originally, talking with John Ivey about why Apple ditched plastic for metal. And a pretty good write-up there. And at the same time, there's an article over on Times, the New York Times, talking about his design process and product philosophy as well. So two really good articles. The New York Times one is much longer. The one over on Yahoo is, a couple-minute read, but the New York Times is probably a good 5-10 minute read. So be aware. But both of these were really good articles. I read them both. Congressman has asked, the congressional folks have asked the NSA, now hear me, Congressional, Representative Steve Stockman, representative of Texas, sent a formal letter to the National Security Agency asking that it hand over all of its metadata on the email account of former division director of the Internal Revenue Service. Of course, we have heard here in the news recently that the IRS says the emails got lost because her computer crashed. So anyway, she's conveniently, they are not able to give the folks doing the congressional investigation all of her emails. So this representative out of Texas says, well, let me send a letter over to the NSA and see what they have on her. Kind of an interesting move here. We'll see where this goes, if anywhere. How many of you have ever shopped for groceries with your mobile device? I haven't. I want to go into the grocery store. I want to look at the packaging. I want to look at the produce. I don't want to just pre-order something and have it delivered. But on-demand grocery startup Instacart has raised $44 million from Anderson Horowitz. And basically, they're trying to grow their business nationally. And I don't know. You're going to have to give me a real picture of the produce, because you guys know how it is. You go in and, like recently I went into a Costco and we looked at some raspberries, and they looked good on the surface, but we flipped the container over and it was like, oh my God, there was mildew already. And we didn't buy them, obviously, but I want to be able to see the produce I'm getting, make sure it's fresh and healthy. Not something that's going to come and it's already, turning on me. So we'll see how this company does. This next article is huge. And those of you that just think about this ramifications. The Department of Commerce just lifted a ban on satellite images that showed features smaller than 20 inches. The nation's largest satellite imaging firm, Digital Globe, asked the government to lift restrictions and can now sell images showing a detail as small as 1 foot. A few inches may seem slight, but this is a huge, huge deal. To get a 1 foot resolution is big. It's basically oftentimes 1 foot might be a pixel. Whereas before it was 20 inches, now it's down to 12. Sharper satellite imaging is going to make it so it's easier to see people and items, and this is big. It's really pretty incredible that they're going to allow this to happen and allow that imagery to go down to a foot. It's a big, big deal. Now, this next, I had to look and make sure it wasn't April Fool's Day, because there's a new phone jamming cloak. Now, I swear this over on Engadget was not a joke. Wait to see this. And when you guys see this, you're going to be like, was this some kind of a sheep farmer in the Middle East? Or is this a Bedouin tribesman? Or what kind of a get-up did they come up with? But this is a phone jamming cloak. Let you be seen and not tracked. You definitely can be seen in this thing. It can't be real. But essentially, you're wearing a Faraday cage. I'll leave this up for you guys to look at. I'm going to give them some advice. You're not going to sell any. You really aren't. And if you do, you're going to have to give them away. You couldn't pay me to wear that thing. Wow. Big day today. Breaking Bad 4K Netflix streaming has been done today. So very, very cool. Breaking Bad 4K Netflix stream. If you got a 4K TV and you want to watch Breaking Bad, you get it in 4K resolution. Okay. Next up, the U.S. government wants tighter controls for in-car navigation. I guess they're not happy with us all navigating with our mobile devices or looking down at the map on our GPS that's built in. Matter of fact, I got a GPS to review here, and Magellan sent me one. They sent me the Magellan Smart GPS 5390, and I haven't opened it up yet, but phone sends, basically, it interacts with your mobile device. And has a cloud function, finds the cheapest gas. Of course, here in Hawaii, there's no cheap gas. Hands-free calling and navigation, red light and speed camera alerts, and some companion apps. So definitely be testing this out. And by the way, I didn't tell you guys, what's going to happen is we are taking, I told you before, I'm taking a family trip. So I'm going to be flying out the night of July 3rd. And then that is a Thursday night. So I'm looking to have 3 guest hosts that are going to do the show while I'm out on vacation. This is going to be the first vacation where I'm really going to try to like almost completely disconnect except for like emergency email. So I'm going to be out for 3 shows. So it would be the 3rd of July, the 7th of July, and the 10th. And again, first family vacation in many, many years. The whole gang is going. My son Ray's going to meet us in L.A. and going to my son's soccer tournament. Then we're going to do Disneyland, and we're going to go up to San Francisco and just do the tourist thing. So, but 3 missed shows forthcoming. We'll have someone hopefully come in and do some shows for us while I'm gone. I won't keep you guys hanging that long. And if you have a specific tech host that you love, let me know, and we'll ask them to host the show. All right, Seattle Mayor has reached a deal to legalize Uber. So this is good news here. They've legalized Uber, Lyft, and Sidecar without driver limits. So that's big for Seattle folks. The battle's just beginning in other places. Also, if you're a gamer and you like, I love these kinds of deals. I want to show you guys this. It's called Loot Crate. And it's like grab bags. You get a grab bag every month. And it's $13.37 a month plus shipping and handling. And so what you're going to get is maybe a T-shirt, some characters, all kinds of cool stuff. And this month was Transform. But you can sign up for a 3-month plan or a 6-month plan. I'll probably do one of these just for fun. But it's basically they send out, some cool stuff. And if you're a gamer and like this kind of stuff, this is fantastic. And it looks like they even are sending games too. So that's awesome. But I like this kind of stuff. If you guys find this kind of like grab bag type stuff that people are doing like this, on the tech side, let me know, okay? Because I like getting this kind of cool stuff to share, and we can give it away in the show as well. All right, switching here, last few articles. There's an article over on Gizmodo talking about what would happen if the Earth stopped spinning right now. Needless to say, it would not be good. If it stopped on a dime, sayonara. It talks about what will happen, and needless to say, most of us won't be around very long. But link will be up in the show notes for you to check that out. Also, another article over in CNET. If you're a Star Trek fan, you can spend countless hours aboard the pixelated USS Enterprise. Pixel Trek, an exploration-style game where you take on the role of Data aboard the USS Enterprise D, will suck up your free time. So, basically, by using your keyboard, you can explore the Enterprise through the eyes of Lieutenant Commander Data. And so they got some tie-ins to the actual series and so forth. but definitely check that out. There's also Internet Explorer testing going on. If you have if you're on the Internet Explorer developer channel, you can get the new IE. I believe it's what is it, like 14 or something like that. But anyway, test the new Internet Explorer. And finally, I got a little bit surprised tonight because I thought it was Time Warner, but Level 3 is buying TW Telecom for $5.7 billion to upgrade metro coverage in specific markets, but not Time Warner. It's TW Telecom is who they bought. Hey, that's all I've got for emails. I mean, not for emails, for articles tonight. And let me go over and see if I've actually got anything. I don't know if very many emails came in while I was gone. I believe a few did. Let me look here. The last date I did the show was on the 5th. My God, it's so fast. Time flies. So I did get a couple of emails. I got an email from Bree, longtime listener to the show. Bree, thanks for being part of the Ohana. Thanks for still being here. And Bree sent me, said, the future is here, solar roads. And I think we've seen this before, but thanks so much for Bree for sending that over. Got an email from Alex. Alex, it's Todd, not Tom. It's Todd, okay? He says, hey, hey, I followed Geek News Central for quite a long time. You're truly awesome. You're the best blogger in the world. Just want to say thanks for writing so many interesting and informing articles and blogs. Looking forward to hearing from you. Best and kindest regards. Do you think that was a real person? I think that was a bot. You were the best blogger in the world. I see that type of post in my website. So you got my name wrong, so I don't think he's really a listener. But there was nothing in the email. There was no attachments like you expect to see some sort of or link that's going to leave you off to some malware site or something. None of that. It's kind of a weird email. Makes you kind of spooky to see it and then you really not have anything there. You know it's spam, but it's really not. All right, MS Small Bills sent over an email saying, hey, Todd, if MIT is able to track multiple people through a wall with tracking their breathing, what can James Bond do? In other words, the CIA. My MIT perfects cheap, accurate through-wall movement and heartbeat detection with Wi-Fi. And it was available on News 360. I have that link up in the show notes. Got an email from Herman. He says, hey, Todd, just watched GNC from Jeff talking about Sony PlayStation TV. Sony is looks like they're going to be making a set-top box, and they're going to go after the gaming market. It's going to be a little higher end, a little higher amount of money, but they feel that if Sony does this and comes out and can, I will have another show for you this Thursday, and we'll keep rocking and rolling it here for the next couple of weeks. I don't know who our guest is for the new media show yet. Rob will get me that info. I'll share it with you on Thursday. But really think about becoming an insider. We need your support. $2, $5, $10, $15, $25 a month. Really would like to get to the point where we could have 1,000 to 2,000 insiders on the show that are supporting the show with a minimum of $2,000 a month. We've been at this a while, trying to reach that goal. We're still a long way off. But if you appreciate what I do here and putting the show together for you on a regular basis and bringing the tech content to you and really being here twice a week like clockwork, on this march to show 1,000, I would definitely appreciate you considering becoming an insider. If not, buy new GoDaddy products. New purchases is become a new GoDaddy customer and pick up a hosting account or pick up a domain name. It's just the same as, giving like a one-time donation to the show. That's the way it works. But we want to thank you for being here, and we'll see you on Thursday. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time. Aloha. All right, YouTube. We'll see you next time.